When I first moved to Dallas, Texas, and I was working for a gentleman named Zig Ziglar, now that he's deceased, I can tell the truth. I was the first Irish Catholic ever hired by Zig Ziglar. He was not impressed with that, I can honestly tell you. He's Southern Baptist, and he was like, holy shit, how did we hire an Irish Catholic at this company? So, in hiring an Irish Catholic, he said, we don't drink, we don't smoke, and we do not go in bars, any of our employees. And I'm like, really? You've got to be kidding me. Well, I made it almost 3 weeks. Almost. And that's really in shorthand, 3 weeks. So I walked into a bar, Sambuca's one night, and I walked in and I was like, oh my God, I gotta find somebody I can hang out with in this town, because the other people just kept praying over me all day long at work, and I was like, I'm God-fearing and everything, but I'm Catholic. And we just go to confession. So I'm in Sambuca, and there's this woman sitting there with this other guy at the bar, and Ron Kirk is walking up to her to try to get her to endorse him for mayor, and she turns around, whips around with her head the way she does, like this, and she goes, Ron, you know where my fucking office is. You can come in there between 8 and 5. I'm at happy hour. What are you bothering me after I've already left the office? And she had a Miller Lite in her hand, a cigarette in her hand, and more diamonds than I'd ever seen on a human being in my life that weighed 90 pounds, because her jewelry weighed more than she did. And I'm like, oh, I just found a friend. And so it took me a few minutes after the dust settled from Ron Kirk, and I walked up and I tapped her on the shoulder and I said, excuse me, I'm Mary McKay. I'm new in town. I don't know anybody, but I like you, and I think you and I would be good friends. I work for Zig Ziglar, and I'm not even supposed to be in a bar. She whips around all 90 pounds of her, and she goes, what are you, queer? Because I'm straight. Get out of here. And I'm like, no, I'm straight. I swear to God. But I really do like the way you handle yourself. You're just a bitch. You're perfect. I could actually hang out with you and get along. And she goes, what are you bothering me for? And I'm like, because I like your style. And she goes, so, you really work for Zig Ziglar? I'm like, yes, I do. She goes, can you get me a meeting with him? I said, well, of course I can get you a meeting with Zig Ziglar. She goes, I'm gonna call bullshit, but I'll meet you for lunch tomorrow at Jack's. And then I'm gonna really grill you, but tonight you're just bothering me. So, meet me at Jack's at 12 o'clock tomorrow, and that'll be one-on-one, and I'll feel like dealing with you. Right now, you're just bothering me. I'm like, okay, I'll be at Jack's. I showed up at lunch at 12 o'clock at Jack's, and she's still calling bullshit. She goes, you don't know Zig Ziglar. I said, what day do you want to meet him? Here's the days. I already brought his calendar. He's going to be in town. She showed up at the office. She got the meeting with Zig. She and Anik Thuron. What a bonus that was for me. Nothing like somebody from South Africa coming in to meet Zig Ziglar with a little bit different ideas and views on the world. It was a treat. So we sit down, and she meets Zig, and she whispers, okay, happy hour's on me tonight. I think you might be legitimate. That's how I met Virginia.